What's going on, everybody?
What's up?
The 50th first episode of the NFC East show. Hold on, let me fix this real quick. This ain't working for me. There we go. Okay. Of course, I'm chilling with True Blue Pork Rind. We got Philly Sports Guy out on a G14 classified mission.
He had to paint the face up to get through the crowd.
Right. Right. We do have some stuff to talk about today.
Man. News was coming out today, big time.
You know what, True Blue? Let's go ahead and start with you. Go ahead. What you got?
Well, it was the one thing that I dreaded the most, and I've been talking about it, was Calvin Ridley getting in trouble for gambling on a game that he loves.
Yeah.
And the NFL players, I mean, the stuff that's being tweeted out between the difference between the fans and the players is different, but we knew this was going to come at some point with this new bargaining agreement that they had with the casinos. So it has come true, and now it's time to pay the piper.
Yeah, and he I guess he tweeted out he only spent like $1,500.
Yeah.
And he claims that he does not have a gambling problem.
Yeah.
You know, the first step of an alcoholic is denial, right? So yeah. I'm not saying he has a gambling problem. I'm just saying, you know, if I tell you, pretty lady, I'm not a stalker. I'm stalking you. I'm your stalker. And just so you know, that was my that's how I approached Angie, you know, 23 years later.
There you
go. Thought it'd be easier if we got married.
Yeah, man, it was one of those tough deals we're seeing. You know, a guy who has a salary coming up of $10 million.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Was it 10 or 11?
Yeah, 10 plus. But
okay.
You know, to come out and say that he gambled $1,500 during an off week when he was on IR, and you know, it does. I mean, we all sit here saying it doesn't make sense, but it's, you know, $1,500, whatever it may have been. It shouldn't have been done, but we knew it was going to happen sooner or later. So we're going to have to wait to see what the Players Association is going to have to deal with this offseason about.
Does he have area to appeal it?
Yeah, he's got to appeal within 3 days.
Okay. And I mean, doesn't even stand a chance. That's the.
I'm gonna say no, because now that he's admitted
it, yeah.
Now that he's admitted it, I don't think that was the right approach on his behalf, and he probably didn't have a lawyer present when he was tweeting out. But that's where social media gets you.
Yep.
So yeah, he's not gonna have a leg to stand on. But you know, the whole year being suspended, the whole year. That's another thing. So, I mean, they could appeal that to where it's, you know, 6 games, 8 games, somewhere to where he can still receive a paycheck. I think is more favorable if he's going to win.
I think the question for me is, was it games that he played in?
He said
was it games that he participated in? Was there games that, because the charge, okay, from what Goodell said, he said, you are challenging the integrity of the game. And that would be my question to him. Did he play in any of those games that he had a factor? And then if he did he vote or not? I mean, did he bet on his team? Did he bet on the opposing team? So then there lies the question of, did he miss catches on I mean, there's a lot. To me, it just opens up a lot more questions than just the simple.
Yeah.
Not a good look.
Simple statement. Yeah. It's definitely not. And it's not, to me, it's not even the dollar amount.
No, never is.
It could be $50, yep. You know. But let's just, okay, I'm just going to throw this out there. Let's say that.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically, allegedly, right?
Allegedly.
Let's say you and I, True Blue, we play in the NFL, okay? And Pork Rind, you could be a professional player in this scenario as well.
Thanks.
And I play for the Giants, you play for the Cowboys. We're both out of the playoffs, right? The Super Bowl comes and I tell you I got $500 on the Rams. And then you say, okay, 500. Now, is that illegal in the league?
Yes. Yes, even friendly wagers are against their bylaws.
God.
That's the one word you do not want to hear. Even I've even heard it so far as punters. I bet you I can kick it into this corner. I bet you I can kick. Bet is a bad word in the NFL.
Yeah.
If you're a player or coach or team
Okay,
member.
so I got a couple people that jumped in. Gabe and Danny, I see you too. He said the games were
Right.
were not games he played in. They were games when he was not playing. He did bet on his team. Okay. He started betting games after he left the game or left the team due to mental illness. And yes, he bet on his team. Okay. So now if he had, first off, if it can be proven, because you gotta prove everything. I think he might have he might have a way to reduce the suspension. It's not going to be a year, especially if he did not play in any of those games.
Yeah, he didn't play. It was like I said, he was on. They had placed him on the IR, some list. They placed him on there, and yeah. I would hope it's not going to be a whole year, but when you come out admittedly and then you put laugh out loud on your Twitter,
yeah,
after
Right.
you're making a joke of a heavy situation, and again, you're going to have the Players Association. It's going to be real hard to defend a player like that who's making a joke, light joke about something that's so serious in the sport. And I say that with wide eyes.
Well, I'm kind of on his side a little bit because
I am too.
And I think the reason why he's looking at it in a lighthearted, LOL type way, if you will, is because he had no impact. Now, when I think of sports gambling, I think of Pete Rose. I think of that Green Bay player back in the day, the Golden Boy.
Yeah.
I think I can't think of his name right now. I think of that incident. But the fact that he had no impact, didn't play, I think he has he's going to get suspended. There's going to be some kind of punishment. But the full year.
Here's the part where I'm having the trouble, and it's really not that much trouble. But when you have insight to the team, and your friends are the players and the wide receivers, the injuries, what kind of bet was this, first of all.
Yep.
Right.
Second of all, did he talk to teammates about the situation? How did this get out there that he made the bet? That's what it's going to come down to. And we all know when you're being held down, you're going to snitch to save your own hide. So was it a teammate who got involved, to say, hey, this guy's talking to me? But it's all, just allegedly. It's until the facts come out. Again, I'm not one person that wants to talk. I'm not going to assume. I'm just going to.
You're not going to speculate.
Yeah, I'm not even going to speculate. I want to hear from him first, and then we can go there for after.
Pork Ryan, you want to speculate?
I mean, it's a touchy subject. I mean, it's frowned upon. You're not supposed to do it. Don't do it.
Well, okay. Well, let me ask you this, Pork Ryan. Okay, there was no impact on his part. Now, True Blue, that's a fair judgment call right there. He may have some inside knowledge,
right?
Because let's be fair, a lot of these teams do not do the full report on the injury report. So we may know a receiver, or he may know a certain player is going to be more active in a game, or maybe participate more in the game planning of a certain game. I'm just throwing it out there because you brought up a fair point. He may have some like quote unquote insider trade, on the Falcons that we're not privy to. Okay. However, for me, that could even, I could even say, again, you're on the Dallas Cowboys. Okay. You're hurt. You're on the Dallas Cowboys. You're not hurt. You're playing. Okay. And I'm your friend. We knew each other since kindergarten. Okay. We go back GoBots. Remember GoBots back in the day?
Yeah.
That's how far we go back. So we're talking, we're hanging out, we're chilling, and I'm getting some info from you. That's no different than what allegedly he would have done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, granted, it depends on the information too, right?
Yeah.
But Porkman, I'm getting back to you. Even with what True Blue said, which is a fair point. To me, the fact that he did not have any kind of impact on the game, didn't play, didn't catch any balls, didn't score any touchdowns. Does that, in a sense, change the offense? Like, I'm not just saying like he's totally acquitted. I'm not saying that. But does it kind of diminish? Would you still give him a full year?
If you
were the commissioner, if you were Goodell, right? And you got the information that you got right in front of you, boom. He didn't play, but he has a year suspension. Would you still give him the full year suspension?
That's why I'm not Goodell. I personally don't. I think a year is too much.
Okay, good. And that's all I want to know. That's all I want to know. A year is
too much. 6 games, just like True said, 6 games. Yeah, not a year. Year's too much. But let's hear it all first.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. We gotta hear it, because I'm telling you, listening to the ex-athletes, the ex-NFL players, they're like, no, he's got to suffer the consequences. And then you've got the guys who are still currently, and they're saying, well, he shouldn't have done it, but it's a different mindset. We all have different mindsets, which of course is granted. But the things that we don't know is what's intriguing, because if Mr. Goodell knows, that means the Atlanta Falcons know. And if the Atlanta Falcons know and they were able to digest this over and get it out of their system and over to Goodell, that means they had a strong case. And it's not something light, especially with the salary that he's getting. So, it's a catch-20.
Right.
Yeah. Until all the actual facts come out, but it's hard.
And Itzero said, if he didn't have anything to do with the outcome of the bet, I don't know why that's a problem for him, to be honest. I'm with you. I don't understand the overall issue, but again, that's just me. I'm on the outside looking in. I'm on the outside looking at this situation. So
yeah, and it's just one of those situations where that's a touchy subject. Because then you have to look at, okay, if the alleged betting took place while he was off-site, who's to say that he wasn't betting during the game when he was healthy? And was that the reason as far as taking the time off situation?
Well, again, that's where what you're saying is the full story. Now, if he did bet throughout the game or throughout the season, even when he the games that he participated, that's my thing.
Yeah.
There's one thing where I'm hurt, I'm sitting at home, I got my phone, I'm making some bets, right? It's another thing if I'm at halftime and I'm making bets. That's a totally different story. Right. So Gabe says the reason the NFL found out is because the betting company reached out to the NFL partner betting company about who then told the NFL. So nobody snitched. It was the betting company that got him.
Yeah, see, so that's where the partnerships come off, because if you don't have an alias, you're putting down your real name. And it was funny because the first thing I was thinking, well, maybe the bookie didn't have the money to cover the bet.
Right.
And he went straight to the NFL. He went straight to the
Wow.
NFL and said, "Hey, I can't cover this bet, and this guy's over here an NFL player." So, that's the first thing that popped in my head.
God. And for some reason that makes me think of, I read an article. Oh, and I can't think of the player's name. I want to say it was a Patriots, but it was one of the Patriots. Oh God, I can't think of the name. They filed for bankruptcy, and they had to get rid of some of their assets, which was their Super Bowl ring.
Yeah.
Oh, that's happened to quite a couple of
players.
Hold on, what's it? I can't think of the player's name. Yeah, but he had to give up his.
Here's the thing.
It was a Colts player. It was a Colts player, because he had not only his Super Bowl ring, but he had to also get rid of his AFC Championship ring.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
So, but Irsay already said he's going to buy him another ring, so good for him.
Yeah, see, and this is something that the NFL, of course, had time to go and divulge and look back at the history of the games and look at the replays to see if he was actually put forth the effort. Because you have to say, oh, well, was that in his hands? Was that not in his hands? Was he running around?
Yeah.
That's where it gets real shady, man. That's I've said it since day one. I've had a problem since the NFL joined up with this gambling league. So
and earlier you did say something about how he admitted it. We can even agree that that's taking responsibility, right, for his mistake.
Yeah.
He says so. Gabe asked a pretty good question or statement. So essentially, he didn't even try to cover it up. He literally put his name down for the bet. Even though in my mind I'd be like, God, you're such a dumbass. But then it's like, but then you're like, okay, he's being honest about it. He's not hiding it. And maybe this is a situation where this wasn't a problem, like a problem, like he said. Maybe this is just one of those situations. He's like, hey, I'm not playing. Let me just go ahead and do this.
Still can't do it.
A coin.
Yeah, and see, that's why I'm saying a lot of the the ex-players are for the suspension and everything else, is because one of the things they really harp on when they take you into these, when they take you under their wing and they put you in these classes, they tell you exactly what to do and what not to do. And one of the big ones is do not gamble on any NFL games.
Okay, so I'm going to play devil's advocate here. All right, I'm going to do this. Maybe those old school NFL players, right? I'm not going to speak for the both of you, but for me, for example, I'm a traditionalist. Okay. I liked the fact that, and what I mean by a traditionalist, I like the fact that there's only, 2 wild card games instead of 3. It's the 4 division teams plus the 2 wild card teams. And I don't, and I'm just throwing something out there. And I don't like the extra wild card team. I don't like the fact that there's 7 teams in the playoffs. I like it better when you had the first 2 had the bye, and then because it worked better with my schedule. Okay. And the reason why I say that, of course, that's all full of shit. I love this extra wild card plus the Monday night game. I like that.
Yeah, I didn't like that Monday night game either.
I say that because like the old school NFL players, they have a different mindset than today. I mean, I'm not going to guarantee anything, but I think this would be a good question to ask, the old school football players. Hey, if you had an opportunity to bet, not on, if you were injured or right when, when it was legal, because like now they just made it legal to bet on NFL games. If you had that opportunity, would you have made a couple bets?
And the guys I'm talking about now, mind you, the vets I'm talking about have only been out of the league 5 to 10 years, if that. The guys
Right.
that are,
I mean, but that's still a different mentality than what it is today.
Very much so.
You know,
because I would not swap a jersey. I'll tell you that much.
Oh,
right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So moving forward, this last weekend we had the combine.
Yep.
We had a lot of good players standing out. What is it? Is it Demarcus Willis? Demarcus Willis
from Baylor?
Huh?
From Baylor? Quarterback?
Yeah, the quarterback.
Malik. From Louisiana.
Malik Willis. Yeah, geez, at least I'm consistent about messing up people's names. So that's one thing you can say about me. That guy can throw the ball.
Oh yeah, he can.
What are the things that stand out to you in this combine?
Go for it, Pork Ryan.
I didn't even watch it. I'll be honest.
I watching it, I'm going to say the overall, the wide receivers, they had the speed. They didn't have the hands. The cornerbacks were small. They just were not, very impressive. And really pretty much all of them. There's maybe one out of the crowd. The lineman was the big picture this year. There was tremendous standouts with the offensive linemen. I think the offensive linemen, that's going to be a deep bunch for the first 2 rounds. I think some of those guys coming out, the kid from Alabama is going to be the first lineman to go, and he could be going to Jacksonville. But I mean, the quarterbacks really didn't impress me all that much. Malik, yes, his arm, it really did impress me. I mean, throwing the kid out of Pitt with the gloves,
Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, measured hand size 8.5. I mean,
yeah, he's got small.
That made the day's highlights, but using the gloves to throw and everything else, I just didn't see any standouts in the quarterback positions. But I mean, it was really not that much of a combine, if you ask me. It just was nothing really impressive that stood out to me. And I watched all 3 days.
I'm kind of like Pork Ryan. I didn't watch it live. I was at work, but I did watch some of the highlights. Actually, last week on my show on Thursday, there was a couple people that I was told to look at, and I was not disappointed at all. We already talked about Malik. Oh, and Malik is from Liberty, by the way.
Liberty, yep.
Yeah, from Liberty. But the I cannot say his name. He's the defensive end from Oregon.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, he's
don't even ask me to tear up that name. He was impressive.
Yeah, like I said, it just really was. I don't think it was so much the coverage. I think it was just how flat it was. There was nothing. It just didn't have that same vibe on TV this time.
Okay.
Go around. I mean, the fans were great in the stands, but
so I want to throw this out there too, and I need to catch it. I need to see this in person. So those that are watching this on Instagram or TikTok or Twitch, YouTube, whatever, there was a picture. Somebody took a picture of a wide receiver that ran a 4.09 40, and the NFL official time was 4.2 or 4.421?
It was 4.24 was
but when they clocked him, when they clocked him, it was at he was at 4.09. But his official time was 4.02 or something. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Jordan Davis. Thank you. In the clutch. That's what I'm talking about. In the clutch. That's for you. I don't have a soundboard.
Yeah, that dude was fast.
They got him at 4.21. But again, and I wish I would have brought that up here. I mean, even though it's 0.2 seconds, and he's probably gonna get drafted first round or whatever.
Raiders might pick him up,
but
Picks up your
those
stock.
0.2 seconds could cost him millions.
Yeah.
And the fact that they didn't give him the actual time, that's mind. I mean, for someone to do 4.0 anyway.
Well, there was four guys who ran under 4.24.
Yeah.
That's just kidding. That's just crazy.
4 guys.
And some of these linemen.
Yeah, booking at 4.59,
4.55. God.
Yeah.
How can we're talking like 300-pound fellas.
Yep.
With some speed.
The tight ends were fast as well. And those are some big boys, 6'5", 6'7" tight ends. Rob Gronkowski's.
Yeah. And what 4.5?
Yeah, running 4.59. Keeping it under 4.6.
You know what? You can coach technique, you can coach fundamentals, but you cannot coach speed.
No. And see, my thing is I've always liked those guys who were, I understand the 4.21 and the 4.24, but you get a guy who's the 4.3, 4.4 as a defensive back. That's the kind of guy, or even wide receiver. Those are the guys, that I really want, because with the equipment on, they're still running that same speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guys who are faster, when they have that gear on, it slows them down.
Yep.
Well, I mean, today's equipment, I'm sure it's pretty light and still protective. Okay. It's Zero said, it's really, he did correct it. He said, I'm really excited for this draft, man. Me too. And then Danny said, yeah, you're talking about wide receivers or the linemen. I mean, you got linemen running times as though they're the wide receivers.
Yeah. Yeah. So what you got to remember, how many linemen caught touchdowns this past year?
Yeah.
22.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's fair game to say it. So it's not wrong to compare.
So Danny says, Sneaky, would you be upset if we take I'm not going to tear up his name at 5, then Malik Williams at 7? Would I be upset? Yes and no. I'm going to be honest. Yes and no. I would be okay, and hear me out. I would be upset because ownership and the GM went all in on Jones, right? They said, even in the press conference, he is our starting quarterback. But they did say, we would like to bring in somebody to compete, competition all the time on the field. So if that were to happen, would I be upset? No, but I'd kind of want to know what the plan is, because that type of talent. I mean, are you putting a timestamp now on Jones? I mean, if that were to happen, but I would rather see an offensive lineman in the first 2 picks. Now, later in the draft, second, third, okay, do whatever. But I would rather see a lineman go in the first round. That's just me. So,
the draft is going to be pretty crazy this year, as far as the teams that are rebuilding. And I believe the Giants are going to be one of the teams to rebuild. And I don't think we're not either. Our linemen are not there anymore. We've got to do the same thing. 20, when we pick in the 20-some, it's so high for what we did. But to see you guys and then Philly have 5 picks total in the first round, that's even more disturbing.
Scary. Scary.
But, and yeah. I mean, I guess he just played his cards right. I mean, I'm happy we got the extra pick from Gettleman. You know,
Well, the
'cause
downside.
last year we had no equity whatsoever. We couldn't do nothing in the draft. Nothing.
So Sneaky, you guys have 5 and 7, huh?
Yeah. Yep.
That's why
Sure.
that kid threw out that scenario for that one.
You guys could sure up that offensive line. And
Here we go. True Blue. This for you. I'm not gonna read that one out loud.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, I'll leave that one alone.
You know, this the you know, the wheeling and dealing that's already begun. I know you guys have been paying attention to all the contract negotiations that are going on.
Oh, yeah. Perfect segue.
I mean, I don't know how hard and heavy it is for you guys, but the Dallas Cowboys are wheeling and dealing. We've got, you know, 2 guys supposedly going out the door, a third that we're working on a multi-year contract for that just had an injury that took him out for the rest of the season.
Wide receiver?
Yeah. And it's just,
Gallup?
Yeah. And it's just one of those things, you know, tight end, who's going to get the franchise tag? What are we going to do with the quarterback? Running backs guaranteed. You know, the quarterback already got restructured. Everything else, it's a whole multiple.
Wait. Did they already restructure Dak's contract?
Yeah.
The one that he signed last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. I figured that. And that's going to happen. I think that's going to happen almost every year.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, and that's the thing. And of course we have everybody that's what the cap on of the GM knowing what should be done without really knowing the whole situation. I try and explain to everybody, you got to understand that we can be GMs all we want, but without having the insight to the money. I mean, you know, we can say dollar figures all day, but until we know the exact dollar figure, then it's hard to have that negotiation tactic. You know, saying that, oh, well, D-Law is going to get $20 million or, you know, whoever's going to get X amount of money. We don't know that. There's no way you can just retain to something if you think you know the figure without actually knowing it.
So
what they want, of course.
How do you feel about this? Amari going to Washington. How do you feel about that?
Oh,
hey, we tried to get him. What was it? 2 years ago when he signed that deal, and we actually offered him more than what Cowboys gave him, and he turned us down. I mean, I wouldn't be mad about it, but I mean, we're gonna have to pay. We're in the middle of a contract extension for Terry McLaurin, so that's going to be quite a bit of money for 2 wide receivers. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, that Amari Cooper deal is just bad.
Yeah.
We traded a first-round pick to keep a guy for 2 years at best.
I thought he signed a contract extension. Didn't he sign a contract extension? But didn't he get
last year? Yeah, last year. That's what I'm saying.
Did, yeah.
Okay, because they did his contract first, then Dak's.
Correct.
Right.
Okay,
and that's why I'm saying we gave up a first-round pick. Last year was his second year. This was his third year. He came in 19. You know, when we were playing Monday night against Tennessee, but it just doesn't make any sense. But again, I don't know the dollar figures. I don't know the amounts that these guys want in any of these restructured deals. So I'd hate to see him go. He's one of the best route runners I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would love to have him, but once again, who's going to throw the ball to him?
I was about to ask you that. I was about to ask who's going to throw the ball.
Right now, we don't have that answer in our locker room.
Well,
Heineke's not the answer, man. Unfortunately. I mean, like I said, if he had the arm, it'd be a different story. But
and were you guys sitting in the draft 15th?
No, we're 11.
Oh, you're 11. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not big on any of the quarterbacks this year, man. I'm not sold. Not sold on the quarterbacks this year.
Well, there's a lot of hoopla with Russell Wilson, so
supposedly we offered a pretty nice deal in Seattle.
3 first rounders.
Is that what it was? I haven't heard what it was, but 10 years ago we did the same thing. Why not?
There's wait. Wait, the Commanders offered Seattle 3 first-rounders for Russell?
Yeah, and no deal. For a guy who's been in the league 10 years.
10 years, yeah.
Yeah, now, but doesn't Russell, he has a no-trade clause in his contract too, don't he? I mean, he would have to agree to that.
He would have to agree to it.
Well, the thing is, he is from Virginia, isn't he?
He's from Richmond.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm not saying he'd get a hometown discount, but it'd be some kind of, agreement that he'd want.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a lot of real estate to be given up. I mean, the scenario that worked out last year was the same way that what the Rams had done, giving away all this real estate to get the players that they want. And you look where they're at the Super Bowl. But see, there's some backstory to that, but I'd rather not talk about that online.
So, of course,
once you guys hear what I say, you're going to freak out.
I don't know if we got to maybe, double check this, but Isaac's saying it's 2 first-rounders.
Yeah. See, that's still a lot.
Yeah. Hold on.
I know Rivera was in there trying to wheel and deal.
Yes, he was.
I had something that Gabe wanted to say. Hold on a second. Basically saying, oh wait, hold on. That oh, here we go, right here. Gabe said, sorry, Pork Rind, but Washington is going to draft a QB.
I mean, they probably will. I'm just, I don't see someone being worth pick number 11. Maybe a second, third rounder, but I just don't see anybody worth number 11.
I don't either.
That's just me.
So I'm going to throw this out there. And then, of course, I got to talk about the state of the Giants, too. And we got quite a bit I want to share with you guys. Over, under, let's do a prediction. And we still got some time to where we have a couple alibis. We could change it, the further along we get. Over, under. I'm going to say it again. Over, under 1 running back selected in the first round.
Oof.
Over or under. So basically saying either they're going to select 1 and that's it, or none.
I'm trying to think of who needs a running back.
That's what I was doing too.
Because I can't think of anybody right now that needs a running back.
Because last year it was almost, wasn't it? I think there were 2 running backs selected.
Pittsburgh got 1. Yep.
It was Pittsburgh and I can't think of the other team. I mean, I can look it up, but
not the Rams. Not the Rams. It was the Rams didn't have a first round.
No, they did not.
And so Gabe says Miami needs a running back. I can't think of the last. Anyway, but it was someone said that there's going to be 3 running backs selected in the first round.
No.
And I said no. And this was last year.
Oh, okay.
And he was here we go, Jacksonville. Yes, it was Jacksonville. That's right.
Yeah, because they got Trevor, and then they went out and got that running back because they had 2.
That's what I'm talking about, Isaac. In the clutch. That's what's up. Yeah, I don't
see it happening.
I don't see it happening.
No.
I don't see. And are we starting to move away from that now? I mean, if you think about it, right? A typical running back, okay, like a Saquon or a Zeke or whoever runs the ball for the Commanders. I was gonna say the name just Higgins. No, Riggins, the old school running back.
Oh, that's going way back.
That's going way back. You got to think about it. All those years that, but even before they get into the league, them running backs are taking a pounding. Now, granted, if you have, like a Saquon or a Zeke going against a non-conference school, their bodies aren't taking that much beating. But a tackle is a tackle. I don't care who's hitting you. It weighs on you.
Yeah.
So I say that to say this, that when by the time the running back gets to the league, and we got to keep in mind, a running back or a player period has to be out of high school 3 years before they can go into the league. That's a lot of carries. And that's if they redshirt. I mean, sometimes these guys don't even redshirt, But and then now they get into this league, and now they're going to be the number one guy if they're selected first overall or first round. I wonder how if that's going to be a dying breed now.
I don't think it's going to be a dying breed. I think it's just going to be more cautionary. I think it's going to be cautionary, and it's going to be the second, third rounds that come along. Miami was alluded to as far as needing a running back, but again, that's a new head coach and new system, and I think especially him. He was the coordinator for the 49ers. I don't think he's going to go running back. He wants those wideouts. That's who he has, or who he was at San Francisco. He was that coach who wanted his receivers. So I don't think Miami would go with that. But it's really hard to say. I don't think any running backs are going to go the first round this year.
So you're going to take the under?
Huh?
You're taking the under?
Oh yeah.
I'm going to go under too. What about now? Granted, we don't have to make this official until Wednesday before the draft. What do you think, Ryan?
I'm going to go with one running back drafted first round.
Okay, so you're doing a push. You're doing the push.
Push, yes.
Okay, that's fair.
I just can't see any team needing one. So it's hard to say. It's just like
right. I mean, especially right off the bat, like right now. And Townicus, thank you. Yes, 3 years removed from high school. Yeah, that's what I said. 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Townicus. Now, regarding the Giants, I heard some disappointing news. Okay,
Saquon gone?
He's not gone, but he is definitely on the table.
Yeah. I heard Buffalo might try to get him.
I heard Buffalo. I heard San Francisco. I mean, there's so many teams that are looking at it. I don't know what the cost is. I don't know what he is.
Oh man,
what the GM is. The price tag.
I saw something the other day. It said a fourth rounder, and that blew my mind. But with all the injuries, I still think a fourth rounder it's not high enough.
I saw something, and I don't know how much of how much truth it is, but it was I think it was like 2 first rounders, and I doubt that's
that's too much.
We're over here saying how a running back will not go in the first round, let alone trade for one.
Trade for 2. Yeah, Saquon's on the table, but probably would not end up being traded because no one will give up what Sean wants. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think so.
That's going to be running backs. I mean, we're all right there, or at least I know I'm right there right now.
And as far as cuts go, our 1-year experiment with Kyle Rudolph is over. He was released. Or a running back. Shoot, I think it was Booker. He was released as well. And then it kind of makes me wonder too with Booker gone and now with Saquon, on the table. Where does that lead us as a running back core, as a running game per se? So I'm kind of interested in the draft. I know Gabe mentioned earlier on the show in the comments something about how we will need to select a running back, which I can see that happening between the 3 and the 5th round. and maybe that will challenge Saquon. And honestly, and I'm still rooting for Saquon. I got to say that, because I think last year his issue was it wasn't so much the injuries, it was the mental game due to the injuries.
Yeah, that plays a bigger toll. I mean, when you're continuing to be in that rehab room with the doctors and physicians and the ice bath and the hot water and everything, dude, that takes more of a toll on you than mentally than anything does physically. It just gets old after a while, especially when you're going back and forth. It just, well, I don't even want to imagine what these guys go through.
Yeah, the look on his face when he got hurt in that Cowboys game.
Oh yeah, just nonchalant running across
like,
still.
Like, are you kidding me? And the way it ballooned the way it did. Oh my God. We were so competitive. You know what? I shouldn't have brought that game up. I'm still mad about that game.
I'm glad you did.
Oh my God.
So going into the dollar figures, the salary cap this year.
Yeah.
It did balloon up there. And when I said it last week, I was actually thinking of A-Rod's salary. When I said 323, I was like, man, where did that number come from?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then when I got into my office back on Tuesday, I have a thing, an article posted there for, cut out from the Metroplex there when he got that big salary with the Rangers for $300 some million. That's where I got that number from. But yeah, it's showing that it's at 203 this year, which is pretty sizable for, the salary cap. And the amount of money that's going to be going out the door. That's why I'm saying all the wheeling and dealing that's happening right now behind the scenes and free agencies. And you got a lot of pissed off fans out there with all clubs as far as how they're dealing with it from what they're seeing in the media reports. I don't think, till they see it firsthand, they'll never understand really what's going on with these GMs.
What do you mean? How they're opening up their checkbooks or what?
Well, closing their checkbooks, closing talks with players.
Oh, we're talking about baseball. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're telling players, hey, can you take a cut? And of course, they're not going to take that cut. So when reports get out about that,
I'm gonna say this about baseball. Okay, this was going to be the first year that I was going to be all in on the Yankees.
That's right. I remember that.
All in. I was going to go to the Texas Stadium, watch them beat up on the Rangers. And now that game is canceled. And now you mean to tell me that we got owners that are collectively billions of dollars, right? Billions of dollars. And I got to figure out myself how I'm gonna put gas in my car now. I'm literally at the gas station making life decisions, and then they're talking about billions of dollars. When if they can argue about money all they want to, but pretty soon they don't have to worry about it, because a lot of the newer fans,
will be able to,
we won't participate.
Well, that's why some things go obsolete, and that's why I was having a conversation earlier. This speculation of Aaron Rodgers making $45+ million.
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, okay, one, I understand wanting the amount of money that you're expecting, but two, there's a reason Tom Brady was great and is great.
Yep.
Because he knew he had to get a certain amount of dollar in order to keep enough money within the team to get other players to surround him.
Mm-hmm.
And he went after those rings. Now you can go after the money or you can go after the rings, but you go after the money, you're not going to be well heard of like you are when you have those rings.
That's
50 years down the line, 100 years down the line. That's what you're trying to build. You're trying to build your legacy in football.
Difference between Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, though, is Giselle. Having Giselle
regardless.
makes it easier to take that pay cut.
Well, no, not necessarily, because I'm of the mindset, if I have, if I'm being offered $45 million, I'm going to take 25, get 20, get me a better player, get me a better lineman in there to protect me to go after that ring. Because it'd just be as easy to go do a couple of commercials and get that money back within a year.
Oh, yeah, all that. Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I was just joking.
But again, that's just my opinion.
No, I'm with you. And that's why I love Tom Brady. I think he's, best player ever. I mean, yeah, just every year taking a pay cut.
Yeah.
And that's what he'd make, some of these players that we never heard of. He'd make them a well-known name because
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what greatness does. Greatness brings out the best in others.
Yep.
And if it's financially, if it's emotionally, if it's, statistically, it's one way or another. Great players bring out other great players, and that's how it's done right there. That's leadership. That's what leadership's all about. It doesn't matter where you're doing it from. You lead from the front, and that's exactly what he did.
It also separates Brady from Rodgers. 6 Super Bowl rings.
Yeah.
I mean, don't worry. I mean, Giselle also looks good on his shoulder as well. But when he's, flossing those rings, and Rodgers, and I'll never forget, after, I think it was 2 years after Rodgers won the Super Bowl, Kurtz, I said 6 because Rodgers already has 1. So 1 minus 7 gives you what? 6. Jesus. Anyway.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. Man, to go down in the record books, dude, 7 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing nobody ever talks about. They never talk about how he wanted other players in there playing with them, and he was willing to take that cut.
I also want to say this too, though. One reason why Brady got a pay cut, because Belichick is cheap.
Yeah.
Belichick, if I'm not mistaken, I mean, he only pays his assistant coaches like I don't know, $8,000 a year. No, I'm kidding. No. But I know it's some ridiculous number that even to this day, that if you're not like a coordinator or an actual like a coach and lead, I mean, I'll have to look it up, but it's you're barely making $1,000 a month.
Well, this is where I was listening to the NFL on Sirius, and they're talking about the amount of money that Troy Aikman got, Tony Romo, and now Sean Payton, who might be going to Amazon. You're talking $10-20 million a year to call a game with no worries of the outcome after you're done.
Right.
You think these NFL teams are going to be able to bring these coaches back onto the field after that?
Right.
Now,
as long as you don't say nothing stupid on the air, you're pretty set.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Yeah. Or emails.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's the thing. You got to look at it from an NFL standpoint or from an ownership standpoint. Hell, they're putting Sean Payton up in the booth, and he's going to be making $10 million plus. He doesn't even make that as a head coach. So that's where I'm saying.
Hey, I'm happy about it, because then that means Jerry Jones won't make him a head coach the following year.
and think about it. Payton already got his ring.
Yeah.
He already got his. So I mean, but what's better than 1 Super Bowl ring?
Yeah,
2.
2 of them.
Yeah,
it's like Brady.
Yeah,
Brady says, what my favorite Super Bowl is? Super Bowl ring is
the next one.
The next one.
And that's the thing.
That's some gangster stuff right there.
I love him, man.
That is and he got it from I guess it was the equipment manager at Michigan.
Yeah.
And this is when Michigan was winning all the Big East or Big Ten championships back I said Big East. In the Big Ten championships back in the day. And he was like, which one's your favorite one? The next one. Like, God, that is just straight gangster.
Yep.
Well, I mean, that's what it's about, man. That's what this league is about. That's what everything's about. You look at Aaron Donald. They got that one, and he's like, I'm ready for my next one next year. So I wouldn't count his chickens before they're hatched, but That's going to be tough to do in this league, as it always is. But the thing is, the amount of real estate that the Rams gave up to get what they had this year is exactly, what all in is about. If you're going to go all in, that's how you do it right there.
Yeah. And it's the commitment level.
Yeah.
I do want to throw this out there too, about the Giants. They did reach out to Saquon and ask him to take a pay cut. And the word that I got is that he's willing to take the pay cut to stay in New York.
That's good.
So,
see, D-Law was asked that, and he said, nope. He said, I am not taking that pay cut.
Yeah, I heard today they've reached out to Landon Collins to do that as well. So we'll see.
I doubt he's going to do that too.
We'll see. I know he wasn't too happy when they moved him from safety to linebacker, but I mean, he started playing a hell of a lot better when they did. So,
well, see, the great thing was that when players say Saquon, who's in New York, has to pay, it's time to pay the tax man. They see it, they say, okay. These guys find out real quick what their states are all about, and what the kind of money they're into. And the best one I heard was Micah Parsons this week. He's all, man, taxes ain't no joke, are they? Or something to the story. Because you got to pay the tax, man. It's time of year.
So, and we're running low. We got like less than 4 minutes left in the show. Last Sunday, I was disappointed immensely. Last Sunday, I was supposed to take a photo with none other than Mike Vick, okay, at the Music City Mall.
Local boy.
Say what?
Said he's from around here.
Oh yeah. So he, canceled at the last minute. I ended up, getting a refund, but there was one of the safeties, the Dallas Cowboys safety, who is one of the sports analysts. Is it Woodson? I think his last name's Woodson.
Charles Woodson.
Not
Darren Woodson.
Darren. Yeah. So bumped into him. Of course, he saw me. I was like decked out in giant shit, like always. And he was talking. He was like walking towards me, and I was kind of walking away from him. And I'm like, "Oh, hey, you're that one guy." And I was gonna, give him some shit, but that didn't happen. But I mean, it was, and even Nick was like, he was like, whatever. But
Darren Woodson's a man. Don't ever let him catch you, because he will hit you.
Yeah.
He was awesome in that backfield.
There was quite a few people out in that little at the Music City Mall a couple weeks back. That little sports thing. We didn't stay, but we went and because they got a little H mark and all that stuff. Oh, and when you guys come up, they got a batting cage up there. I mean, it's pretty sick. We gotta meet up and hang out there one day.
For sure.
Well, I guess Philly is having too much fun on assignment.
Well, it's got to be pretty loud in there right now, because the season's winding down for them.
They won. It's fine. 121 to 106. So he's probably celebrating somewhere.
I wouldn't doubt it. Well, I guess that'll end it for here. I want to thank, obviously, True Blue. Pork Ryan had a good time. This hour just went like quick.
It always do.
God. But I guess we'll tune in for next week and maybe
draft
2 days prior to free agency beginning.
Free agency, there you go. I couldn't think of free agency.
Yeah, I'm actually curious if the Giants. So I'm hearing the Giants are going to pick up Jones's 5th year, but then I'm hearing that they might not. So it's kind of like, what happened?
We shall see.
Yeah, we sure will. But all right, guys, until next week, let's go. go Giants.
How about them Cowboys?
Oh!
Let's go Commanders. Not growing on me yet.